Hi there, how we all doing? Exciting! Is everybody having a wonderful day here at Disney California Adventure? Did you all know that used to have an apostrophe? Yeah, got rid of it years ago. May it rest in peace. All right, is everybody excited for a story? Yes! Shout out the name of your favorite story. Go! I'm sorry, did I hear Deadpool of Notre Dame? I don't believe you, but I hope it's real. All right. Well, I'm not going to do any of those, mostly because it all sounded like to me. So we are going to do my personal favorite story. You see, this story here is a beloved bedtime classic, and it was mashed up with a very profitable licensing agreement. This story is Cinderpool. Yeah, that's an applause cue, everybody. There we go. Hope you do better than that as we keep going. All right. My peripherals are very bad in this. Once upon a time, you know, it just doesn't feel right when I do that with myself. We should all say those magical words together. Ready?
Once upon a time.
That was surprisingly good. Wow. Yeah. Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with his step professor and step mutants. The biggest of those step mutants, Colossus, was always making up silly rules around the house. Things like, don't put your initials on other people's leftovers in the fridge. And for the love of Feige, would you stop Donald ducking around the house? What is wrong with you? Put pants on! Anyway, the other main step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, was always texting and rolling her eyes. She was so Gen Z. Both of these step mutants were very jealous of Cinderpool because Cinderpool had a much, much larger fan base than they did. One day, an expendable and non-union extra went running in front of the mansion screaming King Thanos was going to have the biggest battle of Phase 3. And we all know that was the last good phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to the battle, but Colossus said,
"No. It is too dangerous, and you are not a good part of the team."
Then he rips apart Cinderpool's favorite costume, and Negasonic blasts it with her powers. It was so cool. So Gen Z. So on fleek, no cap, Sigma, Skibbity, Ohio. I regret doing that. Cinderpool was devastated, vulnerable and exposed as he stumbled out onto the mansion grounds, weeping desperately trying to get that Oscar. But then he looked up and saw, beginning to form, a magical golden sparkle circle. And out of that sparkle circle stepped his very hairy god mutant. Out of that sparkle circle stepped his Wolverine! They like you, Wolvie.
I know.
Oh, fairy god mutant Wolverine! I desperately want to go to the big battle, but my mean step mutants destroyed my costume.
Shut up!
He said lovingly. What? I'm doing the story, okay? I want to go to the battle. I don't have a costume, I need a new one. You're my fairy god mutant. Do something with a magic wand and a pumpkin.
Just get another costume then. And stop writing me any of these stories.
Well, with that sage and somewhat Australian life advice, Cinderpool ran to the wardrobe department, grabbed a new, freshly laundered costume, and headed to the big battle. Cinderpool was late because he had to read every single page in the terms and conditions when he signed up for Disney Plus.
I don't get it.
Yeah, they do. But when Cinderpool eventually got to the battle, the Avengers were winning. Captain America looked so good in those pants. Cinderpool looked for his fairy god mutant Wolverine, who was...
I'm going to Pim's.
Okay, pick up some milk. He's not coming back with that milk. Yeah. It's okay, we didn't have the rights to him at this point anyway. Cinderpool surveyed the battlefield and noticed on the stairs of the alien spacecraft a single glove. He went over and picked that glove up. Said hi to this camera. It was a beautiful glove. It was gold encrusted with colorful jewels. There were 6 of them, not that that's relevant. He said, I wonder who this fits, and put it on. After a bunch of buzzing, whirring, and clicking, it was a perfect fit. But then all the Avengers look over and they start screaming, no, Cinderpool, take that off. You could hurt yourself. Thor was crying. But all together they said, Cinderpool, do not snap. So you know what Cinderpool does. Cinderpool snapped. Both physically and mentally. Does it all the time too. Just kept snapping over and over. People are disappearing, reappearing. Dogs are falling out of the sky. Everybody's crying. It was really expensive for VFX. But eventually Cinderpool stopped. Everybody was back. And Cinderpool was the hero who'd saved the universe. Then, all the Avengers tackle Cinderpool to the ground, rip the glove clean off of his hand, and blah, blah, blah. Years later, they remake the film. They AI Tony Stark's head onto my gorgeous body. And it goes on to become the most profitable film in the Feige universe, the FCU. But it's okay, because Cinderpool went on to start his own film franchise, which breaks box office records. And then they had to invite Cinderpool back to the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Cinderpool became the belle of the Avengers Ball. Thank you all so much for joining me. I just love that story. It's a favorite of mine, especially that one joke in there I'm going to get in trouble for later. You all were wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me for Story Time with Deadpool. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Mwah, mwah.
So much. Thank you. You were all great. Make it quick. That's it. Thank you.